And the people who drugged me, they drugged me in Florida. They're in apartment 926 in Palm Cove in October. They lived there, and they even went out of their way to buy an apartment in the same apartment complex as me. So, like, my stalkers literally went out of their way to buy an apartment next to me, which makes me think, like, they have tons of money to waste. Is it a government program? I don't know. I'm not saying it is or isn't. So the second you say it is, they're like, oh my god, you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to figure out who has money to waste and time to waste. That's really it. I'm just trying to figure out who and why. I'm an innocent person. I don't fuck with gangs. I don't fuck with cults. I don't fuck with evil. They even called themselves evil. And I'm just like, that's cheesy. But, like, honestly, I just write off everything they say at this point or that they've done to me. Like, it's just not worth. They have huge egos, but, apartment 926, Palm Cove, Bradenton, Florida. I think it was October 9th was the day they drugged me. I know it was in the middle of October. So I'm just putting this on document. So, and if you go to question them, they're gonna lie. They're gonna lie, and they're probably just gonna call me crazy. That's their alibi. But I'm not crazy. I'm not wrong. I'm serious, and that's like, there was also a guy named Sat Benson on Facebook, and then there's that Nelia Ray girl who claimed to know the guy that stalked me, and these are like the only, and then there was a guy, I think he was on camera, I mean, I guess you could pull up the camera records, it would be so hard, but, the guy that followed me home from the bar, the guy that followed me from the bar in Applebee's in Florida, I'm just trying to put on record, like, all the people and the places to where you could catch them. Like all the records of physical records that I have. I have a physical Plymouth police report, too, about the guy who followed me home from the coffee shop. So I'm putting this on record. I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm putting this on record, you know, and the thing is, they do these things covertly. I don't know why it's so covert. I don't know why I'm specifically chosen. I think I'm just random. I think I'm just a random target. They just needed a victim. It's just like human trafficking. They've human trafficked me before as well. I don't want to talk about it. It's too dangerous to talk about. But they've taken me places against my will. And, well, that's the thing about, like, human trafficking. I mean, you don't, well, you never think it can happen until it happens to you. The ways that they do it are beyond the average person's comprehension. They're very sneaky. Everything they do is covert. And if you found out their methods, you'd probably just be like, holy shit, I didn't even know that was possible to hide a person in that spot, or to be like a wolf in sheep's clothing and just walk amongst the streets like you look like a normal person, but really the guy next to you is like a serial killer, human trafficker, and it's fucked up. I don't know, it's just the shit I've seen and the rituals they've put me under, and like I said, I don't even want to talk about it because half of it is just, most people can't comprehend it. So then they'll just say, oh, I don't believe it, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But satanic cults exist. They do. You probably don't hear about them much because people don't make it out alive. It's pretty simple. And it's just like a mafia or any other gang. They do stuff covertly and hidden. You know? Do you know where the mafia hides? No. Mafia is just like a huge gang to my understanding, by the way. And I'm just comparing them to. So, you know, I'm just saying, like, it's just like all I made the thing about Jeffrey Epstein. You would never have guessed that he has a private island for thousands of girls, you know, but there's thousands of sex slaves, thousands of human trafficking going on that island. But and you never believe it till you see it. But the thing is, that's the problem, is so much abuse goes unknown because people either deny it or don't believe it, or it's so incomprehensible that people just, it conflicts with their normal belief system. And when people have their belief system challenged, people don't like their beliefs challenged. People don't like their normal, it's a psychological thing as well. They don't like, you know, it's called cognitive dissonance. Anyway, I just wanted to put this on document, where they live, and I know that they'll just lie. And they have multidimensional abilities as well. So, because I've seen it, and I don't want to go into detail because, once again, you're just not going to be able to comprehend it unless you can comprehend non-physical realms and string theory, dimensions. Unless you can comprehend that kind of shit, you're just going to be like, oh my god, I'm so confused. What is the fourth dimension? That's what people sound like when I start talking about shit that's non-physical. They're like, oh my god, what's the fourth dimension? You're so crazy. I'm like, dude, it's just another fucking axis. It's another realm. It's not that hard to understand. It's really not that hard to understand that it's another realm. Other realms exist. What do you think black magic does? It tampers with the universe, bends space-time. It's a whole different categorization of manifestation. I've seen some shit that normal people haven't seen, so if I try to explain it to people, you either have to have a comprehension of this kind of stuff, or you have to have experienced it yourself, or else you probably just call it crazy, or you probably just call it, like, I don't know what to say about that, you know, like, and the thing is we have a lot of, documentaries nowadays on Gaia on YouTube and about, consciousness and astral projection and chakras. And, there's a book by a CIA agent called Paul H. Smith, Reading the Enemy's Mind, where they did telekinesis and they did remote viewing and they had success. So, like, there's proof that we can we are multidimensional creatures. We are multidimensional creatures. It's not New Age, it's very ancient. And I just want to put that on record. So they have multidimensional rituals too. And that's all I'll say is I'm just going to use the word multidimensional, which is a physics term. String theory, it's a very common physics term. It's space-time. Space-time is a term coined by Einstein. I'm a physics student. Space-time was a term coined by Einstein to explain that time is the fourth dimension and space is 3 axes, and the fourth dimensional axis is time. So that there are, which I have questions about, like I question Einstein's work, but, and I question general relativity, but I'm not going to get into the physics right now, but I'm just letting you know that other realms exist, and this is very scientifically accepted. And, the fact that we are multidimensional creatures, just go watch Gaia. Gaia has tons of documentaries on how we are multidimensional. It's really not that hard to explain. It's just not in mainstream science yet. I mean, it is, but it isn't. We're awakening. I actually am one of the scientists doing the science behind the non-physical, which is just a coincidence, I guess. It's just really weird. I've always been I've always seen more than the average person, so it's easy to say I want to study that. And I mean, it's a long story, but yeah. So this concludes this document.